This one is for Art. I think I mentioned it last week. He talked about the FDIC, and we say on this show 1.2%. We're pulling it off of the FDIC's records, and he said he read an article that said it was 0.5, and I was like, well, I'll check it out. So he gave me the article. I read it. Maybe we should clarify this because technically the article is right and we are right. When we give you that 1.2 number, we're giving you what is actually insured by the FDIC, not the total amount in the banks. The total amount in the banks is about double what the FDIC actually covers. So what the FDIC has in its coffers to cover everything in the bank is technically lower than 1%. We got 0.5-ish, as rough number. But what they cover of what they actually insure, that's where the 1.2 comes into play. So I wanted to clarify that for everybody, but I do appreciate him reaching out. That was a really good article. So if you guys have other articles that you want to send us, feel free.
And we're a little bit from now. One of my articles is going to talk about the banks, and I want to address that very thing. And I didn't know about this with Art. So this is great timing for today. So we'll get there in a minute. I think we need to get...
Funny thing too is when we talk about the FDIC coverage, it just, quick reminder to SVB, which crashed in Q1 of 2023? It was 2023, right? It's been that long now?
Yep.
So if you remember right, when that failed, the majority of the money was not insured by the FDIC. Not at all. I want to say it was less than 5%. I don't know the exact numbers. So in theory, we're like, well, the FDIC will come in and at least take over what they were supposed to cover. But if you remember, the government came out and said, oh no, even though 90+% of your bank isn't FDIC covered, we're going to make you okay, Silicon Valley. We're going to make you okay, Mark Cuban. These rules don't apply to you. So we've checked the FDIC's coffers since then. They didn't lose any money at all when all of those banks failed in 2023. They've actually gained money. So that was all taxpayers. The FDIC didn't even do what the FDIC was supposed to do in that situation. They didn't even cover what they were supposed to cover. Everybody else did. So that's my little rant for just a quick reminder of things that we've talked about on this show coming to light again.
No, you're right. And I am going to show you that I'm an adult and I'm flexible enough to change the order of my articles and get to the banks right now. I just put these right on the top. So, you're right. I mean, that was a weird situation. And how many banks, did fail in that little time frame? 3 or 4.
There were sizable ones.
Yeah, they were. And the whole thing, we have systems, there's rules, but you know what? The rules are for me and not for thee. The rules are for thee and not for me. There's always a separation of people. And it's odd because when you look at things, look at Medicare. I was listening to one of Joe Jaquin's shows this week, and he talked a lot about, the upcoming changes in Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. And he was saying that, they say they have $200 billion in their coffer for Medicare. That's the one he zeroed in on. For Medicare, they have $200 billion in this slush fund. But then he said it's all baloney because the government is robbing Peter to pay Paul. They're borrowing money from other areas so they can keep that $200 billion slush fund because they're using other money. It's a giant Ponzi scheme. Welcome to the FDIC. So I'm going to get to 3 articles real quick. The first one is from MSN.com. And this was in December, the end of December 2024. Just a general article here. It's called What Does the FDIC Do? And that piqued my interest because I'm like, well, I don't think much, but let me read further.
Oh, that's great because that's the one article I didn't read of all the articles you sent me. And then I sent you. I went and I reread every single one. I was like, I'm going to come back to that. And I did not. So please share with me. What does the FDIC do?
It was down on the totem pole. I just became an adult and changed the order since you brought this up. So the federal deposit,
he started all this.
I love Alex, by the way. Alex goes to our West Valley men's networking. You need to come and meet Alex. So, and we need our buddy Mike from Frank's Honest Auto. You weren't there the last 2. Do I have to personally invite you to each one to get you to show up? He's another one that listens every week, as far as I know. So the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation was born during the depths of the Great Depression, a means of shoring up banks when the banks were routinely failing and erasing the wealth of Americans. The incoming Trump administration is looking to pare back or even eliminate the FDIC and other financial oversight agencies.